All right. Well, hey and howdy. This is Kyle Reed, and I am here to do an update video for this Magna Quarter PT6P that I got. And when I got it, somebody had already absconded with the input and output transformers and a whole lot of the circuitry inside of this section, the preamp section. This amp also has, of course, a separate power supply with a built-in speaker and a 6v6 tube to drive it. That's a whole cool little monitoring thing, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. But anyway, back to the story. When I got it, somebody had already removed a lot of the circuitry. And so I felt justified in sort of building my own circuit inside of it and continually updating it as I sort of got new ideas of what I wanted it to do. And what I wanted was a tube mixing console that happened to be portable, as this one is. And so that's what I've done. Originally, this was a portable tube mixing console, but it had a few shortcomings and limitations that I've worked around and changed. And so one of those being that the original design was what they call a low-level mixing mixer, in that they mixed all the low-impedance microphone signals together before they got amplified through the first input transformer and tube amp stage. And so what I opted to do was instead to reallocate some of the tube sockets and move things around, redid the output section, everything. So I started from scratch, but I wanted 3 independent microphone input transformers and 3 independent microphone tube preamp stages before the signal got mixed. That's referred to as high-level mixing. And so that's what I did. Inside, I've got 3 input transformers. Here, I'm going to grab the camera real quick and show you. Over here to the left, we have 3 XLR inputs. The microphone I'm speaking into is plugged into input number 1. Down here, we have all of the outputs going from right to left. We have the right channel with a 600 ohm transformer balanced output below, line level output there, and then a high Z unbalanced 1/4 inch output above it. So we got one for the left, one for the right, and then the third output over there is the effects send, the auxiliary send, and we'll talk about that in here just a little bit too. So yes. All right. So now moving to the front of the mixer, we have the 3 microphone channels, and they're all the same. We have a level control, which I can turn myself up or down. Each one also has a push-pull pot for a high-pass filter. So when I pull it out, I engage the high-pass filter. You'll notice the low frequencies of my voice are cut, and everything else goes through. Push it back in, we've got the full low frequency spectrum. I can pan it right here to the left and to the right. Of course, you can set it here in the middle. And then, of course, we have a master control for the left master control for the left. We also have a master control for the right, master right, master left, and set them about even, and we get a nice even output. All right, so then what else, right? That might have been where I left off the last video update, but I've added an effects send. And so each channel has a send level and a pre and post switch. So I believe up is in the post fader position and pre is in the down fader position. Now, when I started the video, I had some theme music playing from my SP404. I've got it hooked up to come into the line level input up here. Well, let me talk about these inputs before. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself, right? So I'm talking about the effects send. So what happens is each of the channels has an opportunity to add to the effects mix, which goes through a tube, a 12AX7 triode stage and gets amplified. And we have an output control that feeds the output we saw over here in the left panel. I've got it going into an SP404, into the left channel of an SP404, and then the left channel is coming out into this line level input. And over here on the side, I've got a switch that will send that, either process that signal as a TRS, sending the tip to the left and the ring to the right, and allowing us to set the level here. Or by flipping the switch to the other position, we can use a TS mono cable and send it equally to the left and the right. And for the SP404, for effects processing, that's how I have it set up. So if I were to bring this up, we start to get the effects. I've got reverb set on my SP404. And yeah, you can blend it in to where you want it. If I were to turn down my voice, we should lose the voice and the reverb. Unless I were to flip the switch, in which case you'd still get my wet vocal through the reverb in the effects processing. If I switch it back, we start to bring it up. So, yes, when the video started, I was playing a beat off of the SP404 into this line level signal. Let's see, yeah, we can send the reverb all the way to one side. So let's say you were running some vocals and you wanted to have an effects processed and a dry signal. You could mix your stuff like this, have your voice dry all the way on the right, set your level, send the reverb into the left, or, what if we did something weird? What if we did this? Yeah. Oh, ba-ba-dee-ba-ba, don't you want to re-bop-bop-bop-ba, do you re-bop-bop? You could have this dry and wet processed vocal coming into, your recorder, your interface or whatever. Okay, let me turn it back to reverb because that's freaking me out. And let's pan the voice back to the middle. Hello, hello. Set a reasonable amount of reverb for talking, which I guess is none. All right, so let's go through a little bit more of the features here. There are 3/4-inch inputs here on the left. Those are DIs for each of the 3 microphone preamps. And so if you've got a 1/4-inch plug, high impedance microphone you want to use, it goes right there. If you've got a bass, a Fender bass or a Telecaster or something, it goes in here. So my microphone's plugged into the first one. If I were to plug into there, we would lose the voice because this interrupts the signal right after the input transformer. So I'm going to put my little Telecaster here into channel 2. And we're going to bring it up. Some weird cordage by yours truly. So what if we wanted to send that into the reverb? And we could engage the high-pass filter on the guitar. Ya da 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 da. All right. So I'm sure you can see the possibilities, right? Now, so there's one other feature that has to do with that effects send. The effects send and the line level input. This gets mixed in with the mixing bus without an amplification stage. So every mic input goes through a transformer and a tube first. This one is meant to mix in after that stage. So with this effects send, I have a switch on the inside of this thing. It's not meant to be switched when you're using it, so that's why I put it inside. But here's what it does, is it utilizes the triode, the half of the 12AX7 that I use to amplify our effects send, and it repurposes it. And instead of using it as an amplification stage to amplify our effects send, it effectively disengages the effect send and utilizes that triode as a fourth microphone preamp. Now, what happens with that signal? I mean, I've only got 3 of these knobs, and all these other knobs do things already. Well, it then gets sent to the switched jack on this knob. So if we were to flip that switch and not have anything plugged into that stereo input plug, we would get that fourth microphone preamp channel equally shared to the left and right channel. So in theory, if you've got a project, and it's kind of what I built this mixer for, is a project where you're recording a small ensemble to a stereo mixdown that you're printing to tape or, a digital whatever. But the idea is that you're going to commit to this stereo mixdown. And if that's the case already, and you don't need the effects send because you're recording in a room with reverberation or whatever the situation happens to be, and you'd rather have a fourth microphone preamp than an effects send, there you go. It's I've been having a lot of fun using the effects send. One really neat thing to do is to put a tape recorder in the place of where I had the SP404, but instead of well, here we go. I can kind of demonstrate this. That ought to be another video. Anyway, the point is, right now, the effects send is also a fourth microphone preamp on this mixing console. Okay, So we've talked about the mixing, the output. We have two more dials over here. Let me just tell you what they do. This first one is a selector for the meter. The two positions to the right monitor the right channel at two different output levels, a low and a high level. Same for the left two positions. One is 3 dB lower than the other. This switch right here has four positions, and it controls the signal that is sent to this monitoring station. So what's going on here? Well, we have a volume control, and that signal being fed to that volume control is controlled by this switch right here. To its farthest right position, the signal that goes to this speaker is the right channel. The next position over monitors the left channel. Next position over is a mono sum of the left and right channel that goes to that speaker right there. And then the fourth position is connected to ground and is essentially a mute for the speaker. Now, all of that functionality I added before I added this feature, which is essentially just a stereo headphone jack and a couple of load resistors and associated attenuating resistors to give a really good mono headphone output. So you can use stereo headphones, of course, but the signal is mono because it's a mono signal that's sent to this monitoring system. And you can set your headphone level with the same volume knob and monitor the right channel or the left channel or the mono sum of the two channels with a set of headphones. Yes, I think that's everything. I think that's everything that I've done to this mixer so far. I love it. I think it sounds really good. There is a slight roll-off of the very high frequencies, and I think that's probably due to some of the values in my mixing network. I might try out some other mixing resistors and see if I can claw back some of those high frequencies. But overall, I really like it. I think it sounds really good. I've been using it to feed signals into this Ampex PR102 stereo tube tape recorder. It does 15 inches per second, and these two sound really good together. I've done a couple of sessions, just, myself, guitar, voice, and a drum machine plugged into that line level with a mono 3-head cassette tape recorder as a tape delay. And I'm really, like I said, I'm really happy with the way that turned out. So, that's the walkthrough, the update of the features here. Maybe I'll make a performance video as well. But for now, those are the updated features on my custom modified Magnecorder PT6P. I hope you dig it. I hope you enjoy. And here's a little bit more SP404 beats to say goodbye. Thank you so much.